Hello, Goddess. I'm curious to ask you, are you finding this month a bit more challenging to stay on task, to stay on course, to not just throw your hands up in utter frustration and say, I quit, I cannot handle all of it, I'm done. And then allow all of that work that you've put into creating what you've been creating to just fall away, to ultimately be for nothing? Is that what your mind is telling you? All of this is for nothing? All this work that you put into what you're creating and what your passion is and what you desire to be experiencing for your life? Goddess, if this is you, you've come to the right place and you are right on track. Welcome, welcome. My name is Rochelle Richard. If you are new to my channel, we here at Empowerment Experiences are looking for and finding our power all along this, which is each our own self-love empowerment journey, where we are healing our inner child, we're healing twin flames, we're healing our shadow self, we're integrating that aspect of us, we're integrating our inner child. We're coming into union, divine union within ourselves, reuniting with all the parts of us that we have lost track of or given away to others to have power over. We're taking it all back and reintegrating every bit of it so we each can be rising and thoroughly thriving on this, which is each our own self-love empowerment journey. So with that, come with me into the forest for more than the trees. Let's discover and embrace all this intuition sees. Together we shall come to know that which we need to reclaim our goddess power on this divine journey indeed. Woo, I'm so excited for this. Let me tell you, sister, this message started this morning. My morning started with getting up, going, ooh, it's cold in here, and living out in the Phoenix Valley, we really resist turning on our heaters if we can. And that said, instead, I plugged in my space heater in this room here. And then as that was running, I proceed to start the microwave for my, my morning chai. Well, it wasn't 10 seconds and all the lights in the room, all the power went off. Microwave, space heater, everything. We shorted the system a little bit here. We overwhelmed the system. And how symbolic is that right now in this moment, right? Where you are finding that you're about to throw in the towel, things feel so heavy. It's because you've overloaded the system, Goddess. So at some point, ultimately, there's got to be a give to that, right? There's got to be ultimately a surrender and a shift so that you can create something different and get a different result rather than causing the power to go out, whether it is physically in your home or physically, energetically, emotionally, spiritually in you. That is what this self-love empowerment journey is about, Goddess. Is you loving you, you giving you what you need so that you don't ultimately have a power outage and just literally just reach a point where you just are done. You turn the light off on everything. You turn the power off on everything because you have no more power. You have nothing more to give to that which you once were so passionate about. And this simply becomes, this simply comes from that space again of you overwhelming yourself too much. So it's important to start to really be discerning, especially this time of year, discerning about what you are giving your attention to, what you are giving your energy to. And this definitely very much means what you're focusing on, what you're thinking about, what you're stressing about. the things that you're overloading, you've got to start really asking yourself right now, moving forward, so that you don't ultimately lose power completely. You've got to ask yourself, am I ready for this? Can I handle this? Or is this taking on too much? Is this something that I can say just not in this moment? Can I follow up with you, after the new year, after the holidays? I know right now, like I said, right now, things are the busiest that they're going to be, right? This is the busiest time of year. This is the most overwhelming time of year because of the conditioning that we've all been through for it to be that way, right? All of this excessive burden that we place upon ourselves this time of year to adhere to the societal obligations that have been placed upon us and we continue to perpetuate. So it's important, again, as we move more into this month and into this holiday season, that you be extra discerning of that to which you are agreeing to give your focus, your time, your energy, your attention to. And again, this doesn't just mean physically, this means mentally. This means emotionally. What are you, again, feeding your thoughts toward? What are you feeding your emotions, your energy? What are you feeding? Because that's what's going to grow. So if you are, again, another reference here, if you are feeding too much, or there's this cross, like kind of like a crisscross analogy here I'm looking at where again, the power outage, right? You're pulling too much from the system. And so that's what in essence is happening when you are giving your energy away to things that you think you have power over, but you're actually just giving power away to. This is what happens. It's like there's too much pull on the system, right? And ultimately, something has to give, and that means most likely a power outage, right? So discernment is the most important facet for this month in terms of really making sure that you don't have a power outage, especially before the end of the month. You're doing all of this. This is that time of year where I'm sure you have some kind of plans. There's things going on this month, and you filled your calendar out. But it's going to be also taking that discernment into the present moment and making sure that when you're tired at the end of the day, that you're not sitting on your device, scrolling and furthering the giving away or the draining of your energy, right? And thereby, overloading the system. Okay? Whew. Again, right in line with what we are on. It's being very, very intentional about your energy, about your focus, about what you're spending your time on during this month. Because you don't want to reach the end of the month where all the big climax is, right? It's Christmas, it's New Year's, oh my goodness, and you only get a week off in between if you want to count it as a week off, right? In between the big celebrations, right? High energy, intense times. And you definitely want to be at your optimum, right? You want to be at your optimum when you actually get to the proverbial top of the mountain, right? When you get to that peak of it. You don't want to reach that point and be so drained that you can't even experience the true magnitude and depth of joy and wonder and excitement and abundance and love that is a part of and encompassing of these holidays right now. So be very, very clear and decisive about what you're giving your focus, your energy, your time to, so that you, again, referencing what we're referencing today, so that you, again, don't overload the system and lose power completely, have a total blackout, all right? So be very clear and decisive. Because this is what we're doing, right? For how long has this time of year been the time of year where, again, you drain yourself, you wear yourself out, and again, you may find, like I started at the beginning, like I was led to say at the beginning, you may find that you, in years past, have always overwhelmed and overloaded your system, and then you get to the holiday itself and you're just so drained, you're so tired, that it's a challenge for you to truly enjoy what you were so excited to be enjoying. And we're breaking those cycles, right? We are breaking those cycles, those patterns. And this is why, back to this discernment and intention space, being very intentional and discerning about that to which you are giving your attention and energy, right? That just by implementing those changes, you break these cycles automatically. You don't need to purposely dive into this shadow space. The shadows will show themselves to you. They always do, right? You focus on the light. Look, I love that there's this light here, right? A discernment. Focus on the light. Focus on the lightness, you know, of this month. Focus where the joy is. Focus where you feel uplifted. That's the weightlessness, right? Allow for whatever weight that you have been taking on right now through this month to feel lighter, to be lighter for yourself by being discerning and intentional about what you're giving your attention and energy to. Ooh, we just had all of these. Oh, well, imagine for yourself, for your loved ones, for all of humanity perhaps, what a more enjoyable, a less stressful, a less overwhelming, a more easeful, a more flowing, a more peaceful holiday season can be. Imagine that. Imagine a new reality for what you would like this time of year to be looking like moving forward for you and your loved ones, so that the attention is far more on those important things that cannot be replaced, that cannot be bought, right? And ultimately, what's going to lead you through all of this is your own inner guidance. Trust it. That's what you've got to anchor into on this discernment space, is you have to anchor into yourself, check in with you, and be asking yourself, again, is this overloading me? Or can I handle this? Am I ready for this? Am I good to go? Right? So listen to that inner part of you to guide you through this. Right. Wow, I'm so totally not. I already know. So with that, I'm already knowing it's time for the power of surrender. Where then is our power of surrender? Because we know ultimately, right, we're going to have to surrender to or from or surrender something in order to free up that power or that energy, right? Because again, think about the power outage when you blow a fuse, right? Because we don't want to be blowing fuses, all right? No getting angry, right? This is what happens when we overload the system. So in order to minimize or eliminate completely blowing a fuse, having a power outage, having a meltdown, in essence, is what it would be because you've overloaded the system. Where do you need to focus on surrendering to further and better support your power of discernment right? So that you're not clinging to and giving power to. All of those just literally flew out of the deck. Did you see that land right there on the edge of the screen here? So we have a few things. I mean, it is an overwhelming time of year, so I am not surprised that we have a few things that we have to surrender to and from, and just surrender, period. And of course, surrender to trust. Trust that you are making the right decision every time, goddess. Trust that whatever you say to someone is the right thing to say, because it's going to produce the result that it needs to produce, so that you can then further discern what to choose to do or think or how to be next, right? So trust yourself. And of course, goddess, of course, with this overwhelming, busy, over busy time of year, you are going to be needing extra rest time, extra sleep. And this is why I'm saying at the end of the day, be checking in with yourself. Don't be getting caught in the scroll. Don't be continuing to drain your energy. Participating in or partaking in activities that drain your energy, right? This is where being conscious comes into play in a big way, because you have to be really, truly present and conscious of the actions that you're taking and what you're allowing for yourself. So I know, as someone, for me, I know it can be so easy to get caught up in the scroll. You're getting ready for bed. You're just laying there relaxing, and let me just pick up my device and start scrolling shorts or, reels or whatever. No. And then next thing you know, 3 hours later, you're not so tired anymore, and yet you were before. It's because of all of there's the studies, right, of looking at the screens that keep you up later. You're not supposed to look at screens so many hours before you go to bed. And this is so true. Otherwise, it will keep you up. Fill your cup, goddess. Fill your cup, or you are far more prone to having a fuse blown, or to blowing a fuse, to having a blackout, to just experiencing a complete and total loss of power, because you're not keeping control of the system. Surrender to inner peace. Recognize that, again, if you are really desiring in this new vision, right? If you really desire a world of peace, you have to create that peace within first. You've got to be the one, again, that's on top of what you need to be doing in order for you to create what you desire to experience outside of you. You have to be creating that inside of you. As within, so without. That is how it works, right? So right now, during this time of year, as things are chaotic, I mean, this is the best time of year to be cultivating inner peace, is when the outside world is so chaotic. You keep coming back in, bringing that attention and that energy and that focus back to your inner world, and cultivating and nurturing that peace within you. Well, don't do too much, goddess. That's exactly what this card is telling you. Don't do too much. Don't overwhelm yourself. Now is a time to be doing a lot more being. That's the word, being. Because you want to be experiencing the joy of this season. You want to be experiencing the joy of your loved ones, the joy of the holiday, of the giving, the receiving, the abundance that abounds. But you have to be in that. You have to savor that. And we do that by not taking any action, but rather just being in it, marinating in it, savoring it. So as you embark through this month and you make your way through all of the chaos, all of the overwhelm, and all of the temptation to burden yourself and bog yourself down out of perceived obligation, that you remember to take as many breaks as you need, that you remember to check in with yourself and make sure that you're not overloading the grid, your system, to the point that you're on the verge of blowing a fuse. You've got to give yourself what you need first before you can really be fully embodied in that joy and fully aligned with giving to others, especially this time of year when, again, there's so much that is done out of obligation rather than inspiration, right? With that, we love our angel numbers, and let's have a fun little look-see. I'm like, woo! Let's just shake them up, shake them up, shake them, shake them up, shake them up, shake them. Boom. Looky here. 5, 6, 7. Angel number 5, 6, 7. I love that. 5, 6, 7 tells us we are in a space of perpetual change, right? And that's going to be one reason why things feel so overwhelming, because here you are attempting to maintain traditions and, past obligations as they've been, but we are breaking cycles. We are in a time of perpetual change. So it's so important to, again, be making sure, look at all of these surrenders right here. They're really, truly all about you grounding into your space of peace and calm and stillness and trusting, right? 5, 6, 7, how perfect for this time of year. It talks about love, marriage, family, and home. So it's referencing this, what we tend to perceive this holiday season to be about. Ultimately, the underlying meaning is about our loved ones, right? Our home, our family, our significant other. So let it be about that, but more from this space of inner peace, right? More from that space of just marinating in their presence, in their energy, and being truly joyful for their presence in your life. 5, 6, 7 speaks of responsibility and practicality. Which it is your responsibility to be discerning about making sure that you don't overload your own system, that you don't overwhelm yourself and, set yourself up for a power outage, right? Or blowing a fuse, which ultimately tends to be, right, when we consider blowing a fuse, as I'm sure you've recognized in this reading so far, right? Blowing a fuse, immediately you think about, right to anger. Because when you're overwhelmed and you get frustrated and then frustration leads to anger when it's not properly filtered and funneled. So make sure that you are taking that responsibility and acknowledging the practicality that is needed for this time of year, being very practical, going again back to this discernment space. Is this bogging me down? Am I overloading my system? Am I overwhelming myself? Can I go to yet another event? Can I participate in yet another whatever this month? You've got to be filling your cup, goddess. And here we are, 5, 6, 7. Be intentional, showing love and gratitude every day. Every day this month, goddess, I challenge you to Make a list of 10 things every morning really quick. Surely you can do this. Make a list of 10 things every morning. Write them down of those things for which you are grateful, right? Be intentional, showing love and gratitude every day. And then I challenge you to the next level. Throughout that day, say thank you. Say, I am grateful for you. I am grateful for that knowledge. I am grateful for your support. I am grateful for this opportunity. Say that 5 times to someone throughout the day. So 10 times make a list of, again, 10 things. Make a list of 10 things for which you are grateful every morning. And then every day, throughout the day, actually express gratitude 5 times. Even if you can do it 3 times, that's going to create such powerful shifts throughout this month that it will be so much easier for you to be partaking in extra activities for yourself, because you are being in that space of groundedness, of appreciation, of really acknowledging and receiving all that is coming your way so that you can integrate it and embody it. 567 says, fighting the connection has a negative effect on you and your overall well-being. Now, the connection that is spoken of in this is ultimately your connection with your power. Something just fell over or something, and I'm not sure what. I just heard it, but we're going to keep going here. Keep rolling. We're almost done. So fighting the connection ultimately means if you're fighting your own connection to your own power, to your own value, to your own worth, to source, you're fighting your own connection. It does, of course, have a negative effect on you and your overall well-being, because you are cutting yourself off from the power of you. And we're breaking those cycles right now, Goddess, breaking those cycles. And in order to do that, always keep focus on the goal and the desired outcome, because that's what it is. The goal is the desired outcome. So I said and, but always keep focus on the goal, the desired outcome. That's what 567 is reminding us, right? And that whatever, and that's what this intention is about, is what is the outcome? What is the kind of experience that you desire to be having for this month? So keep focused on that. Keep coming back to that. And that's going to also further support you in your discernment this month of, is this aligning me with the kind of month, the kind of experience, the kind of holiday season that I would like to be having? Discernment, discernment, discernment. Discernment is fully rooted in critical thinking, asking yourself questions that ultimately direct you or guide you in the direction that you desire to be going, which is further amplified through your intention. 567, always growing. I mean, just the numbers itself, 567, it's about expansion. It's about growth. So welcome each challenge as an opportunity for growth. That is the final message of 567, to welcome each challenge as an opportunity for growth. Because that's what it is, Goddess. There is nothing in this world that is happening to you. Although our victimized egos would tend to disagree with that, right? Ultimately, though, everything that is happening for us. This time of year is the time of year for us all, for you to really be stepping into your power of discernment, your power of intention, your power of purpose, of realizing that you can choose to do whatever you want to do that leads you into and through any overwhelm, any burdensome spaces, and into a space instead of joy and peace and ultimate trust for your journey. And realize that that you are not obligated. You are not obligated to attend certain events, to be present at an event, to give gifts out of obligation. That is something that I can say for myself. I am not a fan of being required to give gifts out of obligation, because it usually means the gift isn't something that I would want or they would want, right? It's different. So with that, I remind you that the power, it is in your hands, Goddess. The power to have the kind of holiday season that you would really prefer to be having. And it just comes down to you making sure that you do not overload the system, overwhelm the grid, and have a blackout or blow a fuse. So give yourself what you need and be ready to assert your boundaries when necessary so that you do not blow a fuse during what's supposed to be one of the most beautiful times of year. So with that, dear Goddess, if you are looking for your power and having a challenge finding it, I am here for you. I am here to guide you into and through finding your power so you can take it back. You can book a 30-minute session with me for the month of December. I have a few spots open. Sorry, I had a moment there. I have a few spots open for the month of December at iamempowered.as.me. And let's get your power, take it back so you can be rising and thriving for sure this next year. And of course, make it through this month without blowing a fuse. Remember, Goddess, the power, it is in your hands, because that power has always, always been inside you. Namaste.